Since the early 1900s, every generation has grown up with Disney princesses. Since some of the very first to the most recent Disney princesses, people will always have their favourites. Whether it's Snow White, Cinderella, Belle, Sleeping Beauty, or any other iconic princess created by the people at Walt Disney Productions, people can't help but love them. Children grow and develop with these princesses, which begs the question, do these princesses affect the way children will grow to act and look? We set out to find if the way Disney princesses are portrayed have had an effect on children through the years, and how who they pick as their favourite princess could change how they will grow to act and look.
Invited to come and play with you today. Is that okay? Wonderful. I got books and I got things and I just can't wait to meet you all. Now, let me see. Hi. I like to be either the Nordic princess who I'm today or the Scottish princess because they're both a lot of fun and they can get, if there are any children who are a little bit suspicious because when a cartoon comes to life it can be a little bit daunting and it's much easier to pull them in and get them to enjoy themselves. So let me sit myself down. There we go. Sorry, pretty big skirt. Oh, okay. It's called Room on the Broom. Have you ever read this book before? They're created in the age that the writer writes them. Therefore, older princesses or more classic princesses, obviously they have attributes a little bit more common at the time. So they are staying home, cooking and cleaning. Hence why the Apple Princess is looking after all the dwarves, etc. Whereas I think more modern princesses demonstrate more modern attitude. So the Nordic princess, she kind of looks after herself. She makes some silly mistakes sometimes, but she has her friends and her family who pull her back in line. So I think the more modern princesses probably set a better precedent for today's time.
Yeah, so the man always saves the girl, which sometimes isn't perfect in life, especially nowadays.
Yeah, and that's where Frozen does have a positive thing, that it is the girls looking after each other, and the men.
And same with Brave. Brave's quite good because she's a strong character. Yeah,
I like stories about people who use their knowledge of things to do something clever. A friend of mine has a little girl who is 4.5, and my friend was always a tomboy when she was a child. So she had no idea what to do with this little bundle of girlness that wanted to wear dresses of her own free choice. And so as much as my friend wanted to bring her daughter up with very neutral everything, her daughter chose the princesses, chose this and chose that. So my friend has made a decision that that's fine, and she wants to make sure that the princesses that her daughter is favouring show positive attitudes. Her daughter is now getting into things like equestrian girls who are very short skirts, and maybe the look isn't quite what a mother would want, but the attitudes are similar. They're all friends, they're all working together as a team.
Because they want to be the princesses, but then I do think they kind of get to the point where they stop a little bit. Not as much. Real. That's it.
I think it's important that we counteract what the media says about what they look like, and that we as their parents show them that what a Disney princess looks like isn't necessarily something real. I don't think there's any problem with stories and beautiful people in stories, but the fact that it's that make believe is one thing and real is something else.
Yeah.
And you have to give them a positive image of themselves.
Yes,
definitely.
definitely.
Be fine, dress up, do the hair,
Yeah.
but you're still a princess in
Yeah.
your own right, and you don't have to.
That's very
yeah.
Teeny tiny little chick, and she flew, scampered out into the yard, and she hid underneath all the hay, and she thought, he'll never find me here. She fell asleep in the hay. But soon he came along, and he found her, and he sent her to the highest part of
Well, as a psychologist, obviously, there's a lot of research out there that suggests that there is definitely a link between Disney characters and future abnormalities, especially it's highly linked with eating disorders. My personal belief is, yes, the research does say that, but it also depends on the manner in which it's presented and the socialisation and upbringing of the child as well. They all have major factors. You can't just say it's one factor. It may be a factor, and it is a factor in a lot of cases, but there are also a lot of other reasons in the pot.
Something they may remember.
I think the larger effect it has is the amount of exposure they get to it. If it's not something that they're exposed to, of course there's no opportunity for it to have. I do think a lot of times nowadays the television and the films and the media and the computer and the internet is used as a babysitter, so perhaps they do get exposed too much. And if they're not getting the input from adults and their parents, they're left to form their own opinions, and sometimes they can be very, very lasting. I think the world has changed, and I think they are just suitable to the generation that is out there now. I don't think there were any more, or I don't think they're any worse. I think it's just in the context. We've got to look at it in context, and what these children are growing up with now. That's their life. That's the context it's in. I don't think it's any better or worse myself.
the noisy one. What's your favorite? Good. What's your favorite? You're allowed to have the same favorite as someone else. I like the witch's cackle.
I like that one too.
What's your favorite?
Very good.
Oh, thank you for reading that story with me. Now, I shared a story with you. What are some of your favorite stories to read in here? I think it's a wonderful opportunity to spread a good message. So, for example, my sister, the Ice Queen, very often the last thing that she'll do when she goes to a party is get down to either with the child, hold their hand, and say to them, "Now, will you promise me to do something? Will you promise you'll always stand up for yourself and never let anyone make you change who you truly are?" And the child will always say yes, and she says, "Good, make me that promise." And off she goes. And it's wonderful to leave that sticking moment in a child's head that they don't have to change who they are. And I feel that a lot of the princesses have that opportunity. So I think that's great.